We are thrilled to dedicate the new J.H. Levang Gallery in memory of his service to our school. And we are privileged to have his two children here with us today, Mark Levang and Linda Bjork. I'm going to call on Mark for a few comments and reflections. Would you please welcome Mark to the platform?
Well, as you know, I'm really a good public speaker. In fact, the last time I gave a speech in this room was 47 years ago in senior speech. And Jim Olson and I had a demonstration speech of a little old man and a little old lady's first ride on a roller coaster. I'll let you imagine who was the little old lady. Anyway, I had a preview of the gallery yesterday from Wayne, and I want to thank Wayne and Ryan for an outstanding job. That is the most well-done thing. I think my dad would be really proud of it. However, I think it should be changed to a different name. I think it should be the JH, the Silence, the Mark, and the Linda Gallery. For one reason. Every time we took a family vacation, there was always a side trip to somebody's house or to some gravesite. In fact, 2 stories about making a side trip. Coming back from Warren Beach Bible Camp, where he was a speaker, and we decided to go through the Black Hills. And after we got through the Black Hills, we're going through South Dakota. He had to take this 50 mile out of the way spot to go talk to this guy who'd been at school. He had a hobby farm. And while he's in talking to this gentleman, the lady of the house and my mom started talking, and I'm running around looking at the cows and everything else and getting ready to go into milk. And my mom says, I bet you I can milk a cow. And I said, you can't milk a cow. No way you can milk a cow. She goes in, she grabs a 3-leg stool, gets down behind that cow, and that milk just started coming. And I laughed, and I laughed. Later on, a few years later, we were up Aiken, going back, went to Itasca. My dad wanted us to walk through the Mississippi headwaters. Well, he still had a suit on. Took his shoes and socks off. He probably should have gotten his swimsuit first, because he fell in with the suit and he went home all wet. Anyway, 3 months before my dad passed away, he came home to live with me. And I can honestly say that was the best 3 months of my life. I got to, instead of him tucking me in at night and giving me a kiss goodnight, I was able to tuck him in, pray with him, and give him a kiss goodnight. It was awesome. So days I'd come home from work, he'd be laying on the couch, just thinking, sleeping. I'd come and sit down and say, how's your day? Well, pretty good, but I just don't know why I'm still here. And I said, well, the Lord's not done with me yet. And I said, well, what do you think about your legacy? What do you want it to be? He said, I want my legacy to be that I've served my Lord well. And I said, well, I know you have. But I said, you know, you're truly a servant of God through him, you know. And then I said, what do you want to do when you die? What do you want to do first? He said, when I get to heaven, I want to look at Jesus and say, can I stare for a while? And I said, I know what God's going to say to you. I know what Jesus is going to say to you. Come on in right away. You sit at my right hand and watch me welcome more people. You're a faithful servant to me. And through all that, we started talking about the good times and the bad times at Hillcrest. I said, what's your good times? He said, anytime we graduates in the spring of the year, and to hear their stories, hear their testimonies, and he said, I just hope that keeps going. What's the sad time? And I can honestly say, class of 67, if any of you here, the day that John Lucky passed away, was one of the worst days of my dad's life. He suffered all day long because he had to make that phone call to his parents. And it happened, his memorial was on my confirmation day. And I do remember that day, how sensitive was that. So I want to thank all the people that were involved in putting this together. This is a true way that my dad would be serving. It's a great thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark. And just by word of thanks, I mean, we are here today. It started over a year and a half ago, a brainstorming session about the centennial. An idea was brought up about an archive gallery and whom should be named after. The naming part was a no-brainer on that one. But I want to just name a few people and places, Mark, as you're saying, to say thanks for really helping make this gallery a reality. A lot of imagination and creativity and vision went into this, as well as a lot of hard work. Working in design and a lot of other areas is Mr. Ryan Erickson back here with us now. Can you just say thanks to him? Working as our archive curator in so many ways, in so many deep ways, Mr. Wayne Stender has contributed so much also to the gallery. Thank you, Wayne. We also have contractors that we want to thank. Kurt Frustall with Precise Carpentry, Oren Electric, and Cullen Home Center for just being our contractors and helping make the remodel a success. And now, just before we go down the hallway for the ribbon cutting, I just would like to invite Reverend Joe Legge to come up for just a couple of comments himself.
Yeah. Take your watch off.
Take your watch off. Take your glasses and put them out. Yeah, but this one. Pastor Levang. So many stories. One I've told before, a few times, so I have the urge to tell it again. And then a better one, second. I was a senior. Pastor Levang, president of the school, his office right across here, as you know. And he was also the counselor, so to speak, for our school at that time. And the seniors took an aptitude test. An aptitude test was supposed to indicate some indication of what a good future might be for you vocationally. When I got the results back on the profile sheet, it was in the 90th percentile in several different areas for me. And I thought, boy, this is good. And then I had the appointment with President Levang when I was supposed to go into his office, and I went in there feeling pretty nice and pretty good about this nice profile. And he took a look at it, and he said, Joel, you have a lot of maturing to do. He said, you're curious about a lot of things, but there should be some highs and lows. Otherwise, he said, you have to focus. And that's a life lesson for me, Joel, focus. Because I can be interested in all kinds of things on a curiosity level, but his message to me was focus. Another message, a story which I've only told maybe once, as I recall. Because I'm going to tear up on this one. It was a story that Pastor Levang told when we went to Bible classes. And he was talking about the discipline of the Lord and how we should respond to God's discipline in our life. I don't remember the passage. Maybe it was, every son that's loved is disciplined. And the results of discipline is righteousness, the fruit of righteousness. And then he told a story about his daughter. Linda was about 3 years old. And he said, I had to discipline our daughter for something. I don't know what it was. And so after the talking to, maybe it was spanking, I don't know. She jumped up and she was, went to the middle of the room, stood there, and turned around. And then you came running back and jumped into his lap. That is the exact way to respond to discipline. God disciplines us. We may not like it, but then He has open arms for us to come and jump into His lap. So Linda, thanks for doing that.